Very lovely afternoon. Welcome. This is Game Plan on 99.7 Joy FM. It's on Hits 103.9 FM. My name is Fentuo Tahiru Fentuo. It's 1:22 p.m. in the studios here at Kokomlimle, Accra. That's where we are coming to you live from, and we'll be on from now till 3 p.m. talking the very best from the world of sports. Here in Ghana, we are talking Congress. The Ghana Football Association is tabling some proposals at its Congress next Tuesday. Among the proposals will be an extension to the GFA President's term of office. The GFA's President's term of office at the moment is at 2 terms of 4 years each. On Tuesday, the clubs will be voting, Congress members will be voting to decide whether or not they want to extend that to 3. And that is obviously a decision that has divided the football populace, including the general public, with quite a number of questions that remain unanswered. That's not the only proposal. There's also a proposal to give an automatic vice president seat to women. That will be the second vice president. That will automatically go to a woman. There was also a proposal to increase the number of ESCO members from the current 11 to 24. That has been shot down by FIFA. So that will not even be on the table to be voted for on Tuesday. So what do the club members make of this? Now, the GFA General Secretary has said that the proposal didn't come from the Ghana Football Association, and that indeed it came from the clubs. Some of the clubs have said, we didn't make any such proposal. No less Hearts of Oak, who have vehemently denied ever making any such proposal. But Joy Sports also knows that a committee was put in place 2 years ago to come up with these proposals. So who is telling the truth? Did the proposals come from the GFA or did it come from the clubs? But ultimately, what does this mean for the administration of football in this country? That's the question we will seek to answer on the show this afternoon. We will also look at the Ballon d'Or list. Yesterday, France Football released a list of the nominees for the 2025 Ballon d'Or that will take place next month. And quite an interesting list. The usual suspects are there. Who will be your pick for the top 3? Who will win? Who will make the podium in that 2025 Ballon d'Or list? We'll get through that as well. And we've also got transfers coming up. This week, of course, remember that the Community Shield is on Sunday, which will signal the start of the new European season. Next weekend will be the start of the leagues across the world. The Premier League will start next weekend. The La Liga will start next weekend. The weekend after that is the Bundesliga, and the one after that is the Serie A. So football is well and truly back, which means that clubs are bolstering their squad. Manchester United, Benjamin Sesko, striker, Sexy Sesko, from Sexy Exit to Sexy Sesko. United have somehow found a way to hijack that deal from Newcastle United. They also say Baleba Eba. Baleba Eba. Baleba is coming. 21-year-old Cameroonian international from Brighton. So we'll get into all of those transfers as well. And where is Nicholas Jackson going? Newcastle United? I'm not sure. Thomas Partey signed a 1-year contract with Villarreal yesterday. It was accompanied by a statement from Villarreal to explain why they've decided to sign him despite all of the legal issues that currently confront him. So we've got a lot to go through on the show this afternoon. It's live and interactive. It's on X Spaces. There's a video stream there on the Joy 99.7 FM handle. Also on Facebook as well as on YouTube. You can find us there. If you want to send us a message on that platform, use the hashtag GamePlan. I'll read those messages, retweet them, share them with the rest of our viewers from around the globe and our listeners, of course. If you prefer WhatsApp, you can send us a message on 055-111-1997. 055-1111-997. Remember, we are all still mourning the demise of the 8 people, including 2 cabinet ministers, that perished in a helicopter crash. The president has declared 3 days of mourning. Today is day 2. Tomorrow will be day 3 of mourning those departed heroes. So let's bear that in mind as we go through the show today. The show is proudly sponsored by Betway and, of course, Petrosol Platinum Energy. They are supporting us here on the show this very afternoon. I'm not going to waste much time, of course, because the guys are in here. Victor Achu Tamaklo is here. How you doing, Vic?
Yeah, I'm good. How are you?
I'm okay. Daniel Cranting, yeah, Danny K is here as well. How you, man?
I'm good.
You're right?
Yeah, man.
We will also be joined on the show by Eloy Amande and Sami Enimado, speaking to us about these proposals that the GFA has tabled before Congress on Tuesday. But guys, it's been a very difficult week, hasn't it?
Yeah, very.
Yes, it has been across all levels. In fact, I think the first piece of bad news we had was on Tuesday when Jorge Costa was confirmed to have passed away with a cardiac arrest, and the tributes that poured in just came to confirm to us that he was more than just a footballer. He was more than just a captain, and the sheer personality that he was and how he robbed off his teammates. And in the midst of all of that darkness, I think the Jose Mourinho press conference on Wednesday for me was very, very enlightening. And the way Mourinho is a special guy when it comes to communication and how he is able to cut through the emotions and whatever scenario, what he says and the way he goes about it. And this is someone to whom English is not his mother tongue. And the very first expression he used was that this is a part of my history that is gone. And he later would explain that Jorge Costa signified something more than just a captain. He was actually a leader, and said his relationship with the player was such that he was the sort of guy who will tell him that, you know what, mister, focus on the next game and move on from me and get on with life. And the manner in which he said it and concluded by saying that, so he will get on with life, but in the end, he is going to cry for me, was heartbreaking, but also enlightening about the sort of person that he was. And look, adulthood has taught us that as men were growing up, all of the things we are told to be tough and Berima and Sue and all of it is a scam, because life can knock you in places that you never imagined possible. And we all have seen firsthand, especially in the events that have happened in the last 48 hours, the futility of life and how everything that we're struggling for today could very, very soon have no meaning at all, because we will no longer be. So you just take life as it comes and do the best that you can. When the Lord's time is right, he will call you into his bosom.
Very interesting words, very deep from Victor Achutamakulu. It's been a very difficult week for sure. Danny K, how have you survived it?
It's been difficult, obviously. You don't know the 8 people personally, but if you consider how, and I'm talking about those who don't know them personally, you consider how some of us felt, then you just try and imagine what their families are going through.
I don't even want to think about that.
It's crazy, terrible. But at the end of the day, it's what Achu said. We never know when we are going. We don't know when we are going. You obviously have to live your life in a way that will, first of all, please your maker, and then leave a lasting impact when you are gone here on earth, the lives that you touch. Because at the end of the day, life is fleeting. It's very sad and very painful, and no amount of words would ease the pain that the close friends and family of the departed ones are feeling. But we can only give them our prayers and hope that the Lord comforts them.
Indeed. And so anyway, we know that the people that have departed, we know two of them are cabinet ministers, obviously. One of them used to be a deputy sports minister.
Yeah.
Omanebwama used to be a deputy sports minister. I think he was deputy sports minister for about a year. When Ghana went to the 2012 AFCON and the 2013 AFCON, he was deputy minister to the Honorable Kofi Humado at the time. And he's one man that, that has a massive interest in sports. And he's being, at the forefront and very vocal with his support for Arsenal and Kumasi Asante Kotoko especially. He was last at the President's Cup. Saw a selfie of him and Sam George from that particular game, and he never hides away from the fact that he's a Kotoko fan, nor does he hide from the fact that he's an Arsenal fan. He's always talking about Arsenal. And so he loves football very passionately. And I remember, and not just football, all sports. In fact, I remember after the Olympic Games, I put up a post where I was thanking everyone for following the coverage of the Olympic Games. And I just ended by saying that I hope that you all enjoyed the coverage. And he sent me a message and said he thoroughly enjoyed my coverage of the Olympic Games. And at that time I had never met him, and this was in August 2024, and he sent me very encouraging words and talked about how he followed the games through my reportage and how I made him experience the games in ways that he didn't think was possible. And I felt very, very flattered that he would do that. It's one thing for somebody to enjoy something from afar. It's another thing for them to pick up the phone
and reach out when they've never met you. And he texted me on Facebook. I didn't have his number, neither did he have my number. So that's crazy, right? And it's unbelievable. And obviously, I'd known him. It's a former minister and all of that. Very well-revered figure in Ghanaian politics, so I knew who he was. I didn't even know that he was following my reportage or anything like that, and and since then we exchanged phone numbers, and the last time I met him was at the U.S. ambassador's residence in November last year when I happened to get invited by the ambassador to come and watch the U.S. election. He was also there, and we wore the same suit accidentally, and he saw me and called me. He's like, "Friend." I turned around. But the price was different.
I don't know, man. and he was like, "Did we buy our suit from the same tailor?" And then we took a picture. It was a funny moment. It's the same stripes, the same everything. It's like, I don't know. I bought mine in Teshi. Why did you buy yours? And then he laughed, and and that was that. And then every now and then we'd exchange messages, and so he was one man that I developed a personal relationship with in the past, let's say in the past year or the past 15 months, So it's incredible. And then you've got Murtala Mohammed, that a lot of people have very good things to say about, and especially his involvement in sports development in Tamale Central. Caladam Park is famously in his constituency.
Yeah.
He's done all these astroturfs and all these, contributions, his support for RTU. The last time RTU were in Accra to play a game, he made a personal donation of 20,000 Ghana cedis to them. And he's always trying to help the club and all of that. So, this is a massive loss, not just to the political space but also if we are compartmentalizing the effects of these laws to the sporting community as well. These are people with massive influence and massive impact. And one other thing about Omanebwama that people don't know is that he was part of the first responders during the May 9 disaster in 2001, because he's a medical doctor, and he played an active role that year or that day, and trying to save lives of a lot of the people that were affected on that particular day. So, I was in Kumasi when Dr. Sapon was Kumasi mayor and the Ashanti regional minister. I know how much he was involved with Kumasi Ashanti Kotoko as well. So, may their souls rest in peace, obviously. And we will continue to pray for their families. As Daniel said, if we feel like that, you can only
imagine what they're going through.
So that's gonna be that. And we will all continue. As a result of that, obviously, if you're listening to us for the first time and you haven't heard, we've postponed the Joy Sports Invitational. That was supposed to be tomorrow. It's the right thing to do because, obviously you can't, and the chief of staff was our special guest.
Yeah.
So we can't go and be at the stadium jumping around left, right, and center when there's this massive.
And on the third day of the 3-day national mourning,
in the evening when we are all supposed to be at the State House, you can't ask people to come and be at the stadium doing that. Like, it was a no-brainer. Yeah. So thankfully, all of the corporate institutions that have signed up for this fully understand and back the decision. So we are engaging the university authorities for a later date that will be conducive and that will be workable for everyone. And so that's that. But we're going to talk about something else more important. Some of the clubs, House of Folk say that they were not part of the people that that made those proposals. So we'll play the voice for you from the interview that we had with Dr. Nyahonya Tamaklo. Prosper Harrison Ado obviously says that the clubs made the proposal. Prosper, he says that the clubs made the proposal to extend the tenure or the term of office of a GFA president from 2 terms to 3 terms. And you've got the House of Folk, some of the clubs saying that they didn't make any such proposal, including Kumasi, including House of Folk, I beg your pardon. So this is the Nyahonya Tamaklo saying that he was not, and House of Folk did not make any such proposals.
As far as I know, the House of Folk have never ever have. Clearly, they have not had such a decision at the board level. And I believe strongly no proposal has been submitted to the FA.
So are you suggesting that Congress should not approve for the FA president to go for 3 terms?
No, not House of Folk. And they should not have them. Because that will bring a very, very problem.
So he says that's not, and he says that it will be bad precedent. So I don't know. But joining us is a lawyer, Mande. He's a former. I don't want to say former because once a journalist, always a journalist, right? He can't be. So he's a journalist, legal practitioner, and a former CEO of Karela United. So
he used to sit in this seat.
He used to be here, right here. right. Eloy, thanks very much for joining us. How are you doing?
Very well, thanks. Good to see you guys.
Yeah.
How you doing all?
We're doing good. Danike, he's asking how you are doing.
We're very well.
Eloy, always sounding bubbly and excited.
Life. It's one life, bro. It's one life. We gotta be happy.
So.
What did they say? You don't know, right? You only live once.
Yeah.
I'm surprised you know that. Aren't you supposed to be like 50 plus or something?
Please. I am not that old.
Listen,
I know how to roll with the times. I know how to, also I like to think.
Yeah, listen, Eloy, I mean, you contested the seat of the GFA Executive Council role the last time out. Obviously, you didn't win, but you have a massive interest in the football administration in this country. You have been a CEO of a Premier League club before. You've been a sports journalist before. Now you're a lawyer, and these statutes that they are looking to amend are legal issues and what have you. So you're the perfect person to be able to have a very informed opinion on all of this. It's not been very straightforward. in terms of where the proposals are coming from, and two, whether the proposals are even popular in the first place. So I've established that House of Folk have said that they did not make these proposals. In fact, we also had the Referees Association of Ghana saying that they made no such proposals to the Ghana Football Association. But just to be clear, this is Prosper Harrison Addo, the General Secretary of the FA, on our sister station Asampa FM on Monday, saying that the proposals came from the clubs and other bodies of the FA.
See the third time alliance with them. FIFA there.
But any proposal, who made that proposal here?
Clubs made that proposal.
Clubs, yes, I proposal.
Yes. Proposal senior members.
Not from the FA.
No.
No.
Send me my proposal. No. These are proposals that came from clubs. Yes, clubs. Referee associations who send in proposal. Yeah. Members of the FA send in proposal.
So, Aloy, you heard him there, and then you heard Nyao Tamaklo saying that as a club, they didn't make any such proposal. What do you make of all of this? It's been a very interesting week in the build-up to next Tuesday's Congress.
Yeah, it's been very interesting. And I think everyone in the game knew that this week was going to be the way it has been, because we had a situation where Friday, a week today, in the evening, they sent these the convocation documents into club emails ahead of this, and they have an obligation within the regulations to make sure that within a specified number of days, these agenda for Congress and the documents accompanying same come to the clubs. So Friday night, I got copies of the documents. I started going through it. By Saturday morning, I knew that we were going to have this type of week where people were going to be upset, and rightly so. And I'm one of the people that was upset. I think perhaps on your sister station Asempa at 6:30 in the morning, I was one of the first to speak on this subject because I felt so strongly about it. I said it earlier in the week. 5 days after, I still maintain that this is a betrayal of the spirit and the principles upon which the 2019 GFA statutes and regulations were put together. We were coming from a point, and I think other speakers have spoken to this, we were coming from a point, we wanted to avoid this very situation that my learned senior Prosper and the president and the current ESCO have put us in. We didn't want to have these type of conversations. You have a term, you come, you serve term one. If the Congress and the voting body agree that you need to have another run, they will put you up and you will go for a second term. Now, what my learned senior Prosper said and what I have heard some defenders of this position say is a classic dictator's play. Fent, have you seen any dictator and tyrant in the history of the world that says that, oh, I'm doing this because I want to do this? From recent tyrants and dictators across our borders in Togo and Ivory Coast, it's always, oh, it's not me, it's the people. Oh, come on, come off it. Stop telling lies. If you believe in something, just own up and say that I believe, I Prosper Harris Nado, I believe that we have to make these amendments. And EXCO is clothed with the powers by the regulations to propose amendments to the regulations. So we are bringing it in our capacity because we want it. Do not come and try and fob anybody off with excuses and stories that they started with, it's from FIFA. And when they realized that they were on shaky grounds, then they now started amending it and saying, oh, it's the clubs. I mean, stop embarrassing yourselves. This is really embarrassing. This is not what we've started off for. This is not what we voted for. The reason why we want change to happen after every 8 years is that the propensity for people to overstay their welcome, to lose their way is very high. And the point has also been made throughout the week by various other speakers, myself included, that to run this whole country, a president of Ghana needs only 8 years. Tell me, why do you need 12 years to run football? Why do you need 12 years to run football?
They say FIFA is doing it, CAF is doing it. Why not Ghana?
So the point has to be made that if it is FIFA and if it's FIFA that's asking them to do it, why hasn't FIFA written to every single federation? Because we are not the only ones on 2 terms. Why hasn't FIFA written to every other federation that they must do 3 terms? Change their rules to 3 terms. What FIFA does is that you must look at your circumstance and organize your life to suit that circumstance. You cannot say that because FIFA has a 3-term, automatically we must also have a 3-term presidency. The FIFA rules, the FIFA regulations, they are just guidelines, they are guardrails for you. So today, if FIFA has 3, it will be presumptuous offense if you are a GFA president then to say that, oh, I want to amend our rules to go to a 5-term limit. But nothing stops you from having regulations that makes you a 2-term maximum presidency or a 1-term maximum presidency. Nothing stops you. We need to look at our circumstances. And the peculiarities of our circumstances are such that 8 years is sufficient time so that nobody will hijack the federation and say that I will leave when I want to. Because we know what has happened with our football in the past. This is the reason, and I think this is the most important reason why we ought to hold on to our 2-term limit. So here's what's going to happen on Monday in my Tuesday in my estimation. They're going to show up in Congress. It's by public voting. They've bullied, victimized most people into submission. So very few people can raise their hands and say no to this, because they are afraid that their clubs may be relegated or whatever the consequences may be, or you will not be a friend of the federation or whatever that means. So what's going to happen is that people are going to be iffy, they're going to be dodgy. So they will get, if it makes it to the floor of Congress, they most likely may get this passed through. But shame on them for doing this.
And Eloy, what about those that believe? I've heard some arguments that, that maybe people are trying to personalize this instead of looking at it from the general point of view that it's the office of the FA president, not necessarily Keto Kreku, and so they've moved the conversation to this, that okay, what if those proposals were to get pushed through on Tuesday? Should Ket Okreku be able to stand for elections in 2027 when his second tenure expires? Or should we say that by doing that would be retroactively applying those proposals? Like, what does the law say about a situation like that? Or does it take immediate effect and Ket can benefit himself if he so decides?
There is a principle against retrospectivity in law. And it's in the Constitution of Ghana. You cannot make any set of laws that has application behind it. It can only be forward-looking. But the application of that, the peculiarities of that and everything is subject to the particular instances of the case. I believe that if they get this through, and we get to the point where people want to apply it retrospectively, it will be interesting to have those legal debates and have the court settle this once and for all. Friends, I will not want to, because there are things that we need to also be able to hold on to for what would apply in the future. You get what I mean? If you understand my drift.
Yes.
So
yes.
There's a principle against retrospectivity. Number one, it has to be established, but how it is applied, how the drafting, how everything gets done, is those details. As always, there are caveats to everything in life. So those caveats we can discuss when the time is ripe, when the discussion is ripe. In this moment, the discussion is not ripe.
Okay, here's my next question. One thing I find very interesting is that, at the moment, especially in regards to these statutes and proposed amendments to these statutes, there seems to be an equal division among the football voting populace, especially. So
The
Congress.
124 wise men.
Thank you very much. The 124 wise men of Congress. There are those that have also been on record to have stated that they completely back and are in favor of this proposed extension. Nations FC have gone on radio to say Kennedy, Kennedy himself, Ansah Boakye, he has said that they are fully in support. He was the one that was slapped the last time that Nations FC were in the Ghana Premier League. But he's very happy with, those situations, so much so that he says he's backing the current proposal to extend. Yes.
Sarcasm is not you.
No, but it's true though. It's true though. He and his team abandoned a football match because they said they were attacked. But he says he's been so happy.
And the fixtures were not shared with them. The TV schedule was not shared with them. Yes. There was a whole brouhaha.
Yes, and the nation's owner is on record to have stated that like he regrets doing football. I didn't say it. I didn't put a gun to his head. He said it. But I think 3 months later, he says he's very happy with the situation in our football that they far more forget, right? Why is the football population so divided? I don't understand that bit. You are part of that population. Why is that? Why can't you agree that this is good or this is bad?
Yeah. In the ideal world, friends, good is good, bad is bad. But if you've read Animal Farm, you will know that sometimes 2 legs good, sometimes 2 legs is bad. And it is that Animal Farm. Animal Farm is a timeless book. I believe it's essential reading for every human being. We all must read it. You understand human society. And I think that without holding brief for nations, Dr. Che is someone that I've known in football. I respect. The people in nations are my friends. So I wouldn't want to discuss peculiar cases, right? I believe you just cited it that as an example for the seeming yo-yo in emotions and feelings. Friends, you followed this game for a while. You know football can be a really emotional thing. Like Chelsea signs Messi and you feel like the next minute Chelsea's going to win every trophy that's available. I'm not sure whether you're a Hearts-of-Oak guy or you are a Koloko guy or you are, maybe you are not allowed to say, but whichever of these teams that you follow, if you like our Karela and you are a big fan of Karela, when you're doing well, there's certain emotions that accompany your day, like that your Sunday when Karela has won a convincing 3-0 and we're looking really good, top of the table and everything. Your whole week is that feeling, those sentiments, you can't explain it with words. You can't even explain it to your wife why you are so happy.
It's like a high.
It's a high. It is the same way those disappointments also take you to depths that, ordinary events will not take you to those depths. And so that emotional part of football just sometimes influences how people speak about things in the moment. But good is good, and what is bad is bad. And there's a lot to like about football in Ghana, but there's also a lot to dislike about football in Ghana, which is the reason why. And it is for those precise reasons about the things that there is not to like about football in Ghana. That's why we can't have one guy in charge for 12 years. Let's have different leadership styles. Let's develop the game. If Femtio Tahiru runs the Ghana Football Association for 12 years, it is not the same as Femtio Tahiru running the Ghana Football Association for 8 years, because within that 8 years, he knows he's got a finite space. The framers of the Constitution of Ghana recognize that the president can make change and move us forward as a nation in 8 years. 8 years is a long enough time. I was doing the math the other day. Each year, if there's no leap year, it's 365 days. Multiply that by 8. Bro, if you condense that into hours, it's insane what you're able to do in that length of time. I wonder what my brother Kurt needs 12 years of that for. What are you going to do? What are you going to do that you can't achieve, you couldn't have achieved in the first 6 years, and you cannot even achieve in the last 2 years? I heard my learned senior brother, Moses Fuameni, speak about this subject and say, you've got a World Cup ahead of you. We believe we're qualifying for the US World Cup. You've got a World Cup qualification campaign. You don't even know whether we're going to go to that World Cup and go to the final and win the World Cup. You don't know. And we are talking today about extending terms. Finish your term. Finish your term. You signed up for 8 years. Finish the 8 years. Shake the hands of the constituents that put you in power. Well done, guys. You brought me in to, and my slogan was creating wealth and sharing wealth. Actually, I've forgotten because I'm not feeling it. But whatever the slogan was about money going around. It's not really going around. And
creating wealth
going around for some. So, and this was my promise, and I delivered on it. Thank you, guys. I'm out of here. Okay. This is what statesmanship is about. This is what legacies are about. Not fiddling with the Constitution and the rule book. Anybody that's too eager to fiddle with the rules and fiddle with the Constitution, with a tacit or non-tacit endorsement of others, they need to look themselves in the mirror. This posterity will judge us all badly if we let this happen.
And that's a very interesting, very passionate take from Aloy Amande. And listen, I've seen the proposals, the proposed amendments that the GFA sent to FIFA. It's 14 pages of proposed amendments that the GFA wants to make to the 2019 regulations, which they adopted in 2019, just before the elections in October. And it's quite comprehensive. In fact, they've also removed certain people who were stated to be members of the Ghana Football Association as part of the proposals. I can certainly say that an organization like the Professional Footballers Association of Ghana, the new amendment will see them kicked out of the Ghana Football Association as members. And then they say that they are a welfare body, they should not be members. And then they specifically mention that FIFPro is not a member of FIFA. So PFAG cannot be a member of the Ghana Football Association. It's a very interesting list of proposed amendments. Some of them are very routine, others quite eye-opening and eyebrows raising. They've also, of course, suggested that they have two vice presidents, one of them automatically reserved for a woman. It was those proposals that also proposed, or those proposed amendments that also proposed the increase of the GFA Exco from 11 to 24. I mean, Aloy, you would have benefited directly from such a proposal. So why aren't you very interested? I mean, they say FIFA has kicked against that. They said they should maintain the current 11. But if FIFA didn't kick against that and they tabled that at Congress, would you be eager to vote for it, as seeing that you were part of the top 24 from the last election? You would have been an automatic member.
I was. The Premier League slots were what? They were 6, right? 6 Premier League slots. And if this was expanded, yeah, definitely I would have made it in. But I'm not sure they want me on. I'm going out on a limb here. I'm not sure they want me on. You know, when you go for an election, you do hear quite a lot of things. Some factual, some non-factual. A lot of things happen on Congress grounds. But we live to fight another day.
Interesting. Aloy, thank you very much. Fully appreciate
thank you, friends. And I'd like to say thank you for the opportunity to speak about this. Wish everybody a really remarkable weekend. Hopefully, fingers crossed, next week we come out and justice will be done.
Thank you very much, Aloy Amande, joining us via Zoom there to speak about the proposed amendments that the GFA is tabling before Congress on Tuesday to vote for or against. Also remember that in 2023, and this is what I feel like is contradictory to what Prosper said about the proposals coming from clubs. There was a story that Muftar Nabila published in 2023 about a committee being put in place to make proposals to the GFA statutes, and that committee was called the GFA Statutes Amendment Committee, and it was headed by Randy Abe. Frederick Champon was also a member of that particular committee, and they made these proposals. So I don't know at what point the class made the proposal, or maybe the class made these submissions before that committee was put in place. Either way, that committee was the one that firmly put these proposals in place and the proposed amendments, put that document in place, which was subsequently submitted to FIFA. And FIFA gave its feedback on what they made of the proposed amendments. Some of them they said were okay, some they kicked against. The expansion of the ESCO was one of the things they kicked against. They liked the women vice president idea. They also liked the 3-term idea. So let's point it out that, of course, like I said before, this is of the office of the GFA president, not necessarily Ket or Kreku. So we need to be careful not to personalize it and think that maybe only Ket will benefit. We know even if Ket stays for 3 terms, another person that comes will also be eligible for those 3 terms. So we have to have the conversation dispassionately about the extension of the office of the Ghana Football Association president, not necessarily an extension of Ket's term or tenure of office, even if he does decide that he would go for a 3rd term. As it stands, we don't know that for sure. We've also been joined by Sami Enim Ado, Young Apostles. He's had many issues. He's a shareholder of the club. In fact, but he says that his name was removed from the list of Congress members. Agalka too, they chased him away. They chased him out of the ESCO. So, some way. Sami Enimado, it's like you are a prodigal son. Everywhere you go, and they are chasing you out. Even your own club, they are chasing you away. What is happening, my brother?
They are chasing themselves.
Who is chasing who themselves?
I don't know. It's up to them. But to me, God is the greatest. If we think that this world will lie, and then just because we want to bring somebody down, we'll infiltrate his investment. Amongst you who knew Young Apostles until you got to know that I was involved in Young Apostles, and look at where Young Apostles is now. So if somebody thinks he's achieving something, he's achieving nothing by infiltrating the club with my partners and other shareholders to make sure that they'll bring me down. You cannot bring me down. It is only God who can bring me down.
Interesting. Edim, thank you for joining us. I'll come back to you. I've got a message from Seydou Adamu here, who says that Article 34 of the Ghana statutes, or the GFA statutes, is very clear, 2019, that amendments is the sole preserve of the members of the association, so i.e. clubs. And that's why Prosper has said explicitly that the proposals came from the clubs as a constitution mandates. And he also says that 80% of the members of FIFA, including England, Spain, Germany, France, all of them do not have term limits. So they don't have term limits at all. We limited us at 2. The GFA says they want to extend it to 3. But as Seydou pointed out, there's several of them that don't even have term limits at all. So, Achu, what's the big deal if we want to extend ours to 3 terms?
Cultural context matters. The fact that others are doing it does not mean that you suddenly have need for it, even if your industry does not have specific needs that ought to be addressed by that idea. So, yeah, we know that there are a lot of countries that do not have term limits. The term limits often is introduced for a reason. When countries or when societies come to realize that the leadership of those organizations are abusing the free pass to go as many as they want, they introduce the term limits, because familiarity breeds contempt, it breeds corruption, it breeds all manner of things that are anti-progress and development. When FIFA, before, how many years did Joao Haviland run? How many terms did Sepp Blatter run? But when they realized that this had created a corrupt system, they quickly introduced the term limits. So whether or not South Africa or Switzerland or whichever country does not have term limits, it is not a justification for us to have it. More importantly, what is the argument in favor of the term limits?
I think so far we haven't heard that argument.
And for me, it is,
which is a bit disappointing
because I mean we've had the FA presidents in the past 3 months or so give an interview. Fair enough, this had not been confirmed, but aside him, we've had the man who runs the FA CEO in Prosper Harrisonado. He's done a number of interviews. Henry Asantuchum has done a number of interviews. We've had other executive council members all speaking on the matter. None of them has been able to speak to the specific problem with Ghana football that an 8 or a 3-term mandate will cure. None of them. And that is what for me is quite disappointing. But when you take away that principled position of expecting an explanation from the people because you want to give them the benefits of the doubts that they had a certain idea in mind and that they mean well, when you take that away and forget about that benefit of the doubt you'd want to give them and look at their body of work and their history, you will not be surprised that they are doing this. There has been a great divide for a long time between the public and the consumers of football and the entity called the Ghana Football Association, aka the football people. There has always been what we outside of football expect, our view on the way they run their operations, the way they behave, how they manage the national teams, their utterances, and how it reflects on the game, their contracts and how the contracts are awarded and all of that, and the way they see things. So if you go back to every single major scandal, you would find that the public does not tend to see eye to eye with the position of the GFA. I'll give you an example. The Mid-Sea saga. They didn't seem to have or to see any problems with it. When it became public knowledge that the FA had asked the government of Ghana for monies to pay for friendly matches that had already been paid for, there was a public outroar. But members of the GFA were not even bothered by it. Number 12, the Anas expose. The Anas expose. Even the GFA Commission, the entire proceedings, the disdain was exhibited by the public, by Ghanaians, and not members of the GFA itself. So this is an association that at all times has not really cared about what the public thinks about them. They do what they want, and on Tuesday they will do it again. They are going to propose all of these amendments. Now, unfortunately for us, the state institutions that are supposed to take an active interest and in furtherance of their duty to protect public investment into the private entity that is the GFA, they have failed us. I thought that in 2021 we had an opportunity for the overlord of sports administration in this country, that is the National Sports Authority, for them to look in, clean house, and whip the Ghana Football Association in line. 2021, some aggrieved members of the GFA held Congress in Kumasi.
I remember that.
It was...
Sammy, were you there? No, you were in...
At that time, he was part of the establishment.
Okay. They hadn't
So
kicked him out yet.
he would have been part of the people who would have seen that Congress as illegal.
Yes.
So...
Hey, power Charlie, time is sweet too.
So Ralph Jambra,
Yes.
George Friye, Wilfred Kuku Osei, Palmer,
I remember that.
and quite a number of them, they were 64 or 67, depending on who you believe. They felt they had quorum to hold Congress. Now, the spirit of that Congress was that, a year before, the GFA had gone to Congress at Pram Pram and had said that they were going to introduce the Division 1 Super League, effectively cutting away 30 out of the 48 Division 1 League clubs to set up an 18-team Division 1 Super League. Yeah. Now,
we agreed that our Division 1 had too many clubs.
Yes.
So let's reduce them to 8.
Yes. But it looks like the FA did not consult properly, even though the idea I thought was very good. They did not consult properly and sort of lobbied their way to ensure that beyond getting congressional approval, they will then have laid the groundwork and set the wheels in motion for its execution. That did not happen. And so they were caught in a place where we've all gone to Congress. We've agreed that we are going to do this. But also, we also know that almost everyone is against it. But so some members of the FA wrote to the FA stating their position on the matter after Congress. Prosper Arisinado, the General Secretary, did not even acknowledge that letter. The entire FA did not respond to it. Now, per the GFA regulations, in a situation like that, if after a while, I think 21 working days or so, the aggrieved parties, if they can form a quorum, have the right to go and hold Congress. So, standing on those regulations or those provisions in the GFA statutes, they went to Kumasi, held that Congress, and made a number of changes. One of the changes was to cure what had happened in 2020. You know, in 2020, when the GFA went to Congress, they decided to take away part of the powers of Congress. Now, Congress is the highest decision-making body of the FA. Every decision has to be ratified there. But in 2020, I think 2020, because it was a year after the normalization committee had come in, they agreed that the Executive Council could now take decisions that ordinarily was the preserve of Congress.
Right.
So they sought to change some of these things. Now, the next leg of that Congress, per the statutes and regulations, is that you then write, the General Secretary of the Ghana Football Association then has to write to all members to notify them of the changes and accept them.
Yeah.
That did not happen. And the GFA's position was that Congress in Kumasi was illegal. That's just what they said. Very vague explanation without really getting into the merits of why, even though they had activated provisions in the same statutes that they are governed by, the FA now said that it was illegal.
But even with that question,
Yeah.
who is the FA? It's those people. It's made up of
But so let's say the establishment at the time, or the ruling class at the time, yes,
and Nimado and his people,
they said that it was illegal. What I expect, and you see, that episode is where I'm going to end. What I expected was that someone from that caucus, because if me, in my very little journalism experience, with next to no experience of football administration and the nuances of it, could look through our governance architecture and identify that for a conflict situation like that, the National Sports Authority is the one who can call people and whip them in line, and then offer guidance and clarity on what the regulations say. If that fails, the sports ministry or the court is where you go to. The fact that those who organized that Congress could not follow it through and activate the relevant procedures to action whatever they had done, for me it was disappointing. And it speaks to a broader issue on the quality of the human resource within the Ghana Football Association. When Keto Kweku was running for power, he promised to improve the human resource capacity of Ghana football. I don't believe he was referring to that tiny office in Ridge. He was talking about, when he says the Ghana Football Association, the Ghana Football Association is huge. It's a society of football administrators, football players, coaches, clubs, what have you. In that regard, he has failed. Because when you go to Congress, there really is no pushback because of the quality of minds there. And I mean no disrespect to anybody. The way they have run the game has made it very unattractive to the personalities who in the past would have liked to come and sit at Congress. Because trust me, some of the people of substance, when they sit with Keto Kweku, some of the things Keto Kweku has been saying to club administrators, he would not dare say it. Like this nonsense about boots and football for everyone. If you sit with the Asante Hene or his rep, you are going to look him in the face and say that, oh, we are going to distribute football boots and footballs too. You would know that at that level, the need and the things that they expect of you are different. If you sit with Nana Ajimambedu, the Domahene and owner of Aduana Stars, if you sit with Togbe Afede, then you are beginning to see a different class of football owners and representatives at Congress who raise the bar in terms of their expectations, not only in terms of what you are doing for them, but the way you govern and what you use the association's resources for. As we speak,
are you saying that Aduana Stars?
I'm saying that
don't have a need.
I'm saying that Congress, as we speak, is filled with yes men and sycophants, people who do not have the gravitas, people who
you do know that there's nothing and nobody stopping the Mahene, stopping Togbe Afede, stopping.
That is why
from going to Congress.
That's why if you were listening earlier, I said they have devalued the sport to the extent that these people no longer see any value in coming to associate with what you do.
My point is that those people are still actively running their clubs and putting money in, so they have to have an active interest, not just passively sit back and say the people have run their thing down, so now I don't care. Who is hurt eventually? It's them. So I feel like I don't know
the way they see it. The way they see it, they have the opportunity to create jobs, employ people, pay them as well as they can. It ends there, and give them the best of opportunities. It ends there, because if you look at what happens at Rage, the decisions that they take, it will discourage them. And me, as I sit here, I cannot in good conscience shift that responsibility from GFA to them. They do not determine what the GFA uses its grants for. Every year, the GFA makes millions of dollars from grants from both FIFA and then CAF. That is where the bigger scrutiny is.
Okay.
And so for me, as we sit here, we are where we are because the state institutions have not really taken an interest.
Okay.
And look, Kofi Adams, we get it. You don't want to interfere in what these people are doing. But if you are going to take public money and invest it into the Ghana Premier League, at this point, you have to be interested in what they are doing. You have to be interested in what the clubs are doing and how they are run. Because the monies that we hear government is prepared to pump into football, what they have already committed is not chicken change. What we are seeing now is going to be the biggest singular investment into Ghana football by any government. For this season alone, no government has pumped millions of dollars into the Ghana Premier League in one season before, but they are going to start it with the 1 million Ghana cedis.
Henry says the money is not from government.
He's lying. Let's not do that. He should tell us where the money is.
He says it's from the partners.
So let's do this common sense analysis. GFA does not have that kind of money to give. Last we checked, they on Tuesday when they go to Congress.
The conclusion is that if they did, they would have given.
They would have.
Okay.
Adesar Productions does not have that kind of money to come and give the clubs. And even if they took a loan from somewhere, why would they do that and still produce live broadcast? Does it make sense to you? Why they all of a sudden woke up?
That partnership between Adesar, the GFA, and
government. It is money coming from government.
Only government has the capacity.
Only government has that capacity.
Give that amount of money.
Only government has the capacity to do that. And I'm going to end on that note that Mr. Kofi Adams and to governments, if you deem it right, and I am not, in fact, I'm in favor of that investment into the Ghana Premier League. However, by that action, you are also enjoined to look into how the FA runs its operations and check the governance structure there.
Okay.
Because what they are doing now is this is Kwesi Nyantakyi all over again.
Interesting. I'm very much interested in this. Like Seydou said, 80% of member associations don't even have term limits. Why are we so against?
Have they told you what it is going to fix for Ghana football? I don't think you need to question those of us questioning it. I don't think the FA or anyone has the right, because no one started questioning the issue of term limits. It was not an issue. You made it a point to introduce it. It is your duty. It is your duty to make that argument and explain what it cures, what mischief it cures, what the benefits are. What is it that can only be done with the introduction of a term limit, but it's not possible under 2 terms?
Interesting.
We need to know.
Danike, have you got something to say about this? Or should I go to Enimado and ask him why they are so against the 3rd term? Because I've heard him elsewhere. He's against it.
At the end of the day, we all share the same sentiments. If it looks like it looks like I agree with a lawyer, I agree with Achu, I agree with myself. I'm very sure I agree with Sami also. But at the end of the day, look, the thing has been done. And it is up to the clubs in Congress to vote against it. If they vote for it, whether the GFA tells us that they brought it or it doesn't matter. It means they like it. Yeah. The only thing I don't necessarily agree, and he didn't say it as a firm point, but he said it in passing with a lawyer. Yes, we know that they have seemingly bullied members of Congress to the point where it's like anything they want, they will get. But we have seen individuals speak up against this administration, and I'm very happy that you just gave us that contrast in terms of where they stand in Nations FC. At the end of last season, they were fighting. They wrote a long statement, long one, fighting. The whole place was on way, and we all shared in their sentiments. Yes, they wrote some very good points in there. And then today they are telling us that, oh, the thing is a very good idea. My point is, when it happens to you personally, you know how to write statements with like 60 billion signatures on it. Everybody is angry. But then in 3 months, you can forget. For me, I don't trust Congress because, to be frank, they are all looking out for their own interest, their own personal interest. And that's what it has been since. But I said this on Monday and I'll say it again. With this new TV broadcast deal, now my money is inside, whether I like it or not.
Henry said it's not your money. Didn't the sports minister go and stand on the stage and tell us that government is investing in? Now where government they get the money from? Where is government getting the money from? If it's government money is my money. Government money is taxpayers' money. He said it's not government money.
So it's what? So it's what?
He said it's from the partnership.
Which partnership? Partnership between who?
Between Adisa Production, Ghana Football Association, and government.
So government is pure vibes they are giving. No? They are not giving any money. It be vibes. They are just standing there using their aura to add to the listing.
The main question is, among those three, which of them
has money? Or which of them has the capacity to give this money? Boga, if it be 1,000 cedis out of the 80 million safe, it's my money.
True.
And once my money is inside, then decisions must reflect my sentiments.
Thank you.
Full stop.
Factos.
That's all we are. Look, there's a reason why the people of Ghana have a say when it comes to the way our national teams are run. Because you use my money to fund it.
Yes.
So if you use my money to fund it, it must reflect how I'm feeling.
And the FA always says that we shouldn't talk to them about national team money because the government spends it themselves. Now this one that they are giving the clubs, the clubs that are fond of saying that it is an association. Our own money. It is our money, our investment. You don't have a stake in it,
You see,
today somebody told me that I'm a stakeholder. A stakeholder is different from
a shareholder.
Oh, that's what they tell you.
Yes.
Oh, fantastically good.
But now our money is inside.
Now my money is inside.
We are shareholders.
So we are shareholders, whether they like it or not. Now the thing surface, they didn't even come and ask us if we consent today giving our money to the Ghana Premier League. That one surface is another conversation. Yes. It's another conversation.
Yes.
If we look at the problems that are tackling Ghana football, I personally don't think giving 18 million to the clubs for this TV money is not good. It's not. I don't agree.
It won't solve the problem.
It won't solve the problem. It's not TV that will solve the problem. It's not TV. We need to fix the roots. That's where the money should go to. You shouldn't go to the clubs. And the clubs, they always say they are companies on their own. They always say they are football. Why can't they generate their own money? Anyway, bottom line is, on Tuesday, we have to see something. It has to reflect in the votes. Because at the end of the day, look, some of the examples they are giving, the English clubs, Man U, what the FA is doing, they don't care who.
Exactly.
The Premier League is who they deal with. On day-to-day matters, what the FA is doing, they don't care. So if FA has a president for 15 years, they don't care. It's the Premier League president and the Premier League board. Those are the ones they deal with. See,
we don't have that separation.
We don't have that separation. So that's why when Achu says cultural context is important, it is important.
Right.
Bottom line is, I know these two clubs that have come out to back it, maybe the other ones are afraid of backlash. But so these two clubs that they are not speaking now. These two clubs that have come to back it, whatever, by coercion, by intention, whatever, they are the ones who have sent the proposal. No, it's true. It's true.
The two of them.
Oh, it's true.
Mention their names.
Oh, Nations and BBNE. BBNE self, no, I'm not sure that the
but the
entire
club visited them. They were very
I say me, I'm not sure that the entire club
maybe
agrees.
It's
Maybe CEO way he talks, so we go take him like that.
Meanwhile, they are even complaining that the money they should give them to prepare for Africa hasn't come.
It hasn't come. See, the bottom line is, once our money is involved, we should see a certain level of reflection when it comes to the decisions they are making in Congress. Because if this thing is passed, it is just rinse, cycle, repeat. What led to this whole Nyantechi thing was this power absolution. Like, whatever you can rule. And the funny thing I was reading this week, I saw something in the University of Chicago Journal. It was
that's where you read from.
Oh, Charlie, media they go wide. Media they go wide. If I did there, I feel say I go
Chicago
pass somewhere.
Journal.
Oh yeah. Last time I did read some Chinese killer bee for some side. Like Charlie, media they go. If I wake up, depending on my mood.
Educators, teachers.
And because of the mood if I was Tuesday, I was reading it. Because Monday, I woke up on Tuesday morning, I said, damn, that thing we spoke about on Sports Zone, it vexed me, this whole trade-term thing.
That's right.
So I was trying to understand what is the correlation between certain personalities and trade-term. And right. the study is in
the Chicago Journal,
a psychological study on leaders who push
for extension.
They say they have dominant personalities. The dominant personality, they want to assert control wherever
main character
they are.
syndrome.
Main character. What they say goes. People like that. Now, you're
listening to Game Plan. The show is proudly sponsored by Petrosol and Betway. Let me tell you about Betway. It's time to get rewarded as the next big sports betting influencer with Betway. Place bets and share codes with friends, fans, and followers. If they place bets using your code, you earn up to 4% of their wager. It doesn't matter if it's a win or loss. If they bet, you earn cash, and the more people that bet with your code, the more you will earn. Start betting, sharing, and winning with Bet Influencer, exclusive to Betway. Terms and conditions apply. It's regulated by the Gaming Commission of Ghana. Bet the responsible way. Betway. Get way more. And hello, Ghana. You remember the excitement, the dreams we feel together. For 10 incredible years, Petrosol Platinum Energy celebrated with you in the Energizing Dreams promo. We poured joy into your journeys, rewarded your loyalty, and shared in your aspirations. But as the sun rises on a new day, so too does a new chapter for Petrosol Platinum Energy. While the anniversary celebrations have concluded, our promise remains unwavering to be your trusted partner on every road in every endeavor. Petrosol Platinum Energy, triple ISO certified, multiple award winning, with over 100 stations nationwide. We continue to deliver the quality fuels and lubricants that you can depend on. We remain committed to energizing your dreams, fueling your progress, empowering Ghana's growth. Our tagline says it all. Petrosol, energizing dreams, is not just a slogan, it's our enduring commitment to you. Visit any of our over 100 stations nationwide and experience the Petrosol difference. Quality you can trust, service you can rely on. Petrosol Platinum Energy, still energizing your dreams today and always. All right, we're going to take a very short break. When we come back, Samir Nim Ado is here. I'll ask him his thoughts on this whole proposed extension. We'll get into his conversation on Homo Peace Cup. That's also coming up. He's coming here with a giant golden Champions League trophy. That's the Homo trophy. Much better than the Champions League trophy. This one has gold on it. The Champions League trophy... Is it
At the South of Lions or House of Folk can touch it.
All of that is coming up. We'll get into the Ballon d'Or and the Edimado is also a Man U fan. We'll talk about the Shesko fever and the Baleba Eba conversation as well here on the show. Do stay with us. Plus, all your messages that have come through on 055 1111997. Actually, when we come back, I'll read some messages first before I get to Edimado. So send those messages through 055 1111997. This is Game Plan on Joy FM and on Hits 103.9 FM.
Kwame is cooking up the perfect multi-bet, ready to serve to all his friends and followers. He's using Betway's Bet Influencer, a new sports betting feature where he can make money just by sharing his codes. The more codes he shares, the more money he makes. Anyone can be a bet influencer. Another world first from Betway. Terms and conditions apply. Regulated by the Gaming Commission of Ghana. Bet the responsible way. Betway. Get way more.
All right, that was a brief breather. We are back with Game Plan on 99.7 Joy FM. Hits 103.9 FM. Football fans, are you ready for the ultimate season starter? The Community Shield is here, and there's no better place to catch all the action than at the Achimota Mall. This Sunday, 10th August, come and experience the thrill of live football with fellow fans as Crystal Palace battles Liverpool in a showdown for glory. Big screen, epic atmosphere, predict and win giveaways, electric football action, all at one place. It's all going down at the Achimota Mall car park. And guess what? It's absolutely free. So bring your jerseys, bring your squad, and bring the energy. Kickoff is at 2 p.m., but the excitement starts from 1 p.m. with music, games, and pretty much vibes. Achimota Retail Center, vibes and kwa. So I beg you, do not miss it. All right. I've got quite a number of messages here. Let me see if I can read a few of them before I get to Edimado. This message here says okay. So let me start from here. This one says, good afternoon to you, Fent and team. The GFA's so-called football people should make public the clubs they claim pushed for these proposals. We know be kiddies. On Monday, after the Nikkei exposed your twisted take on the then purported transfer of Shesko to United, the club moved to engage the player and make the deal happen quickly. I now believe the people in Manchester watch the show. Rest in peace to the fallen, you say. All right, this message says the ESCO doesn't have the powers to propose an amendment to the statutes. Article 34 is explicit on this. Amendments is the sole preserve of members of the association. Moreover, 80% of the members of FIFA, including England, Spain, Germany, France, etc., do not have term limits. This is a message from Seidu Adamo. I believe I shared that message earlier. Neil Tojo from Temanutan says, absolute power corrupts. And you say the GFA is being selfish. Interesting message. Nee, thank you for your message as always. This one says, greetings and condolences to all. Extension for what precisely? What achievements have been derived to merit an extension, if any? Mixing Yabo Hashem, Bros Back Q, copyright, sent us that message. More messages here. This one says, Fent. All right, it says, Fent, club owners in France, England, Spain, Germany don't run their FA. Why don't the FA leadership implement that too here in Ghana? But there are term limits. Reggie from Dansuman with that message. This one says, good afternoon, guys. It's the running of the... Okay, it's quite an interesting message. Let me take my time and read it very well. Good afternoon, guys. The running of the local league should be taken from the hands of the FA so they can concentrate on the national teams. If for any reason there must be a third term for any FA president, it shouldn't start with Kurt. This is what Yantachi did, and boastfully said he will decide who will succeed him. If it's true that the proposals came from the stakeholders or not, they should let it reflect at Congress. Nene Nyamute from Dansuman sent that message. This one says, okay. He says, Kurt should not stand for a third term. He has locked his comment button on Facebook, but I will share his post and caption it with a warning. There are many ways to kill a cat. Bright at East Legon. Bright, calm down, okay? Calm down. Hello, friend. I'm enjoying the show. Can Thomas Partey play Villarreal's opening game of the season, or would he have to wait for the conclusion of the court case? Stanley in Achimota. He can continue to play while the court processes are going on until there's a conclusion to the court proceedings and he's found guilty. Thomas Partey will continue to play football, and that is just what it is. 055-1111-997. Keep your messages coming. I'll read another batch of messages before the end of the show. Enimado, you've been sitting very quietly. I would like us to move on from that topic. You've got beautiful things to talk about. But briefly, your comment on this. Why are the clubs, or what club, you are a club owner yourself, so why is a section of members of the FA so against this third term proposal?
Thank you. I wish I'll be able to do this for only 1 minute and focus on the Homo Cup, because
no problem. Go ahead.
This is what I've said. I'll repeat it. Anybody who thinks we have to extend a third term, a term to 3 terms for any presidency position doesn't love Ghana football. Anybody. Why should we go forward 10 times and come back 20 times? We in 2019, let's go and check. I'll play with Danny and Achu. Let's go and look at the statements at the Congress grounds and the campaign all of us waved, including my big brother, our president, Kurt. Everybody was saying that nobody should be power drunk again. We don't need too many. You don't need too many times. You need only 2 terms. And we adopted the document.
Yes.
And we are now doing the first 2 terms of a first president. And we want to change it.
In fact, Prosper said the proposal came in 2021, which means only 2 years.
Who brought it? The statutes, the article states clearly that a member is supported by 40-something members. So it should be a document seen that this member, if Kwesi Edu is the one who wrote it, it should come, and then Kennedy and everybody, those who supported it, should come. If the Apostle supported it, it should come. If Adriana supported it, should come. If Apostle supported it should come out for us to see. That's what amendment says, and then it should be added to the document. And if you go and look at the document, underneath it's also been said that the GFA letter will be read to members. What is happening? Are we class 1 children now as Congress members?
So the Congress notice doesn't have
the copy of the
sponsored.
Yes. And then the copy of the FIFA letter that also says we should go ahead. It doesn't have it.
You don't have it.
It is not in it.
But is it regular that in situations like this they don't show
on Thursday, if God permits and everything goes on and Congress, Kurt will win hands down.
Tuesday.
On Tuesday. But I'm telling you, is it right? Are we, those of us in this game who were against this in 2019? I said, go and look for now Dufole's speech. Now Dufole is not a consultant, so it doesn't mean he's also supporting it. Yes!
Now Dufole was part of the committee.
And please try and get Dr. Kofi Amwa. Try and get him. He can give you his speech. And the FIFA rep who came. Why are we doing this to ourselves? Well, I spoke to the president. I'm supposed to take the trophy to him on Wednesday. He says he will be back on around on Monday, so when I meet him, I'll tell him, President, if it is true that he says some people, tell them no. What do you want? Now there's a good omen when the new government came in. There's a good omen. Blasters, so all of a sudden everything has changed. Niger beat us here, left, right. Everything has changed. Good aura around the team. The ladies have gone for bronze. We are doing our best. I'm part of different committee. For course, it's gradually picking up. Why don't we ride on the next one somebody man's years for the president to achieve and get some good then the government too has come in with this support for Premier League clubs. It means government can go in for courts and other places. And then the sports bill has been passed. So we have to look at how best to maximize on the bill to benefit the game. But rather, he says some club says we want to extend the term to 3 terms. For what? To do what? To add what? And this K car stress does my big brother, the president, want to go through this again when there was even a demonstration against you? No, it's not good. You see, I don't know who are behind it. As I'm saying, whatever it is, the president, if we go, he will win. He will win. But
you mean if they adopt the third term proposal and can decide to stand for a third term,
even if
they will win?
Even now, if
you mean
if
the proposals,
the proposal will be
adopted.
It will be overwhelming. Because how many people can say no? There, how many people? And that's how come you see, the mindset of our people should also change. That fear that they will call my player and they will drop my player and they will take a visa for somebody. So is that why you are doing football? It is the systems that should work in the structures must work so that there will be the open playground for everybody to exhibit their talent, so the right quality gets the chance. So it shouldn't be somebody who should be a favor in the system before he gets it. It's wrong. It won't help anybody. And I just don't know. But it is what it is. Majority of the people are not that deep, so they don't see the bigger picture. Right to dream. They started here. They are in the second division. They've not even played in our Division 1 league before. They don't want any local league cup. They are richer than all of us combined. All of us, the clubs. All of us. Man, I'm here to talk about World Cup.
Just hold on for me. The so-called document that they sent to FIFA with the proposed amendments.
Yeah.
That is the only place where we have a semblance of what is an explanation or justification for why they're changing the term limit from 2 to 3. So, the document is in 3 columns. So you have what the current text says, what the proposed new text says, and then the reason behind the proposed changes. So if you look at the current text on the FA term limit, it says the mandate. Your microphone. Thank you. It says the mandate of the president, the vice president, and members of the executive council shall be a term of 4 years. Their mandate shall immediately begin after the end of the Congress, which has elected them. And then it says, no person shall serve as president for more than 2 terms of office, whether consecutive or not. Any other member of the executive council, including the vice president, may serve for no more than 3 terms of office, whether consecutive or not. Any partial term beyond 24 months shall count as a full term. This is what the current text says. The FA made a proposal that this is what the text should say. And I'll skip the first part of it and just read the second part. And it says that the mandate of the president, vice presidents, and members of the executive council shall be for 4 years. Their term of office shall follow the same electoral cycle. Their mandate shall immediately begin after the end of the Congress, which has elected them, and expire at the end of the Congress at which their successors are elected. No person may serve as president for more than 3 terms of office, whether consecutive or not. And it says all other members, including any vice president or the executive council, may serve for no more than 3 terms of office. So they've changed. So see, the proposal is not only changing the term of office of the FA president from 2 to 3, it's also changing the term of office for executive council members from a limited 3 terms to perpetuity.
Of course.
That is what. So I think many people are not talking about that.
Of course, they have to throw in a sweetener for them so that they also don't complain.
So now the text says that all other members, including any vice presidents of the executive council, may serve for no more than 3 terms of office, whether consecutive or not. Now it says any partial, and then this is the part I like. Any partial term of office exceeding 24 months shall count as 1 full term. Previous terms served as a vice president or as a member of the executive council shall not be considered in determining the term limits of the president. And this is the explanation they gave. They said, and this is what the explanation they give in the document they sent to FIFA. They said they changed that they're changing the term limit of the president from 2 terms to 3 terms to align with CAF and FIFA statutes. So now we have our answer for why they're changing it. To align with CAF and FIFA statutes. That's what they're doing.
Fence.
Now we know that the FIFA statute says not more than 3. We know CAF statute says not more than 3. They said they've changed theirs to align with that.
Yeah, but when you said it, the first question I asked you was, why are they doing
it? We knew. No, it was there.
Yeah, but I'm saying that.
It was there before we did our stuff.
The first question I asked was, what problems does this solve? What mischief does it cure?
And listen to the second.
Because you can't just do things for the sake of it.
Look at the second point too. This one is funny. It says, secondly, to conform to the 3 terms of the vice president and the members of the executive council. In other words, they were thinking that why should the vice president and the ESCO members have 3 terms and the president had 2? So we must change it to align.
My simple response is what I've just said. Because, as I said before, cultural context. They have their reasons for requiring a 3rd term or for permitting a 3rd term. Those who run terms in perpetuity, who have not set any limits, they have their reasons as well. I'm saying that we have to have our reasons. It is not enough to say that we are going to align. You are going to align to what end?
Okay.
To provide what?
Let's move on. I think I got that next one. The limit of the ESCO members is also 3.
FIFA were having these 3 terms. CAF was having these 3 terms. When we had our...
When you adapted your 2.
Yes. So what is wrong with us? What are we trying to say? We knew what can happen. We knew that somebody can become too powerful. That is not good. And the framers of every constitution takes into consideration so many things before adopting it. We know. And we are just in the 2nd term of the first document that has been adopted. And we are saying that the person who has adopted it, now who has started the new statutes, says that we should change it. Whether he will benefit or not is a different matter, but that we should change it. The issue is, why should we change it now? The FIFA and the captain was there.
When you adapted?
Yes, it was there. Anyway. It was there.
Enim, let's talk about. I see you have a very shiny, nice trophy with you. It looks like the UEFA Champions League trophy.
That's why I said that Arsenal has not touched it before, but at least Lions or House of Folk will touch it.
This is the gold Champions League trophy, not silver.
So gold is higher than silver. Gold is higher than silver. So on behalf of Ni Aibonte, the man who won the best thing for House of Folk, won the Super Cup for House of Folk he was then the CEO, right?
Yeah,
and then because he started from welfare officer to become the CEO. Won the Confederations Cup, the first of his kind, the Virgin Cup for House of Folk, who is now the Adontin of the Ghana State. Says if we are celebrating Homo, which is the biggest festival of the capital, it is in order that we use the Homo football to climax it, and football is a powerful tool that can be used to champion so many positive causes. This year's edition is for peace, so it's the Homo Peace Cup, and then also to advocate for all the positives of the National Youth Authority who are partnering us. And just yesterday, just before the sad news hit Ghana, the GGA president also endorsed that they are also partnering us because peace is important. And as I say, I keep repeating, for the first time in Ododio, there was not a single bloodshed, there was not a single confusion in the election because we did this and the 2 MPs came to pledge peace and they treated their supporters that they don't want any fight in Ododio. And it's a big thing, but because it's not a physical benefit, we don't see it. There are unseen benefits. Yeah. So we think it's nothing, but it's a huge,
it's very important
achievement for us to do that. And we believe that peace is a continuous thing. And so if we are celebrating the biggest festival in Accra, it's in order that we add this to promote it. And also the NYA, the National Youth Authority, are promoting youth development and youth agenda in the Youth Month. This is the month of the Youth Month, the National Youth Month, and then they are also sending out a message against the substance abuse and illegal drug abuse, which we think is in order. They partnering with us to use them, which is a good tool, the Homo Cup, the football, to also propagate, to project to the youth that it's not good to engage in these kind of activities and acts. Come Sunday, 17th August.
Sunday, 17th of August. Okay.
And we are going to kick off at 5 because 5 p.m. We know there are some games. We want people to have time to come.
Accra Sports Stadium?
Yes, at the Accra Sports Stadium. And we have...
and the game is between?
Accra House of Folk and Heart of Lions, who played the first edition. So the second edition is going to happen again. And both clubs are coming to lock horns again.
17th of August. Mark it on your calendar.
Yes.
5 p.m.
Yes.
Sunday evening. Accra Sports Stadium. Heart of Lions. Accra House of Folk. Second edition of Homo Peace Cup. Fantastic. I love the trophy actually.
And then
Danike can't stop touching it.
The good thing is that the Volta Regional Minister and the Togbi of Kpando says they are mobilizing their people with their buses.
Yes.
And they are coming. So the mayor of Accra and then the Greater Accra Regional Minister also want to prepare and support the Heart of Folk team. So you will see a convoy from Volta region. So it's a festival of different cultures coming together, Volta region and Greater Accra region, where you see the people from Kpando and who coming with the minister.
That would be amazing.
And then they will come to the stadium to support Lions because they think if they're able to touch this trophy and take it to Kpando, it will be a big morale booster for their ecosystem, and they will be able to use this to do so many champions, so many positives in their city. So Danny is here. Danny can touch it because United has touched it before, but Arsenal guys can't touch it.
This is a lovely trophy. I mean, we all know the inspiration behind it, but the fact that you decided that let's make it gold is a very interesting concept. But
this is Gold Coast.
This is Gold Coast. I'm very excited. I saw one of your videos. You went to meet the chief, one of the chiefs.
The paramount chief of Kpando, Togbi Dagadu Okpekpewu.
Yes. Wait, say the name again.
Okpekpewu Togbi Dagadu.
Togbi Dagadu
Okpekpewu. Yes.
It's very interesting.
A great man who understands sport and the message he gave, and oh man.
His name is Bernard Wachi.
Master, you can't call him like that again.
Not again. But fantastic. I used to work with him. No. The Togbi he's talking about.
But the guy.
I used to work
level change you.
He doesn't respect you. Friends, he go come if he comes to you can't see you. You have to.
I have to kneel.
Yes.
I have to do the right thing. I have to do the right thing. Anyway, we are supporting you. We'll be there Sunday. We'll keep promoting the idea. You talk about. You see, my next life. If I wasn't Sisalama, I'll be a Gamma. You know why?
Tell me.
This is why. You say what?
I was giving a small lecture on Omo. They talk about why they do the ban on noise and drumming.
Yes.
And which Ningbese is the one who performs that right. He's the one who bands. He was the one who lifts.
Yeah.
Yeah, Ningbese is the one. And they do it because they said they pray. They need silence to pray to God to bring them food. And watch it. They call the Thursday Sobimba. So they said those days, this place were all bushes.
Yes.
So the farmers will bring food. And then and watch it. After when they stand for more, the fish, they get a big catch. Then the corn comes, the maize comes, and they can eat. And it's like it's spiritual. If they're speaking to God, God has answered. And they will do the Friday one. They carry the thing. And then the Saturday is the pupu where they will eat there and then enjoy and have fun. And then Sunday they also sit down and then they talk about family issues, things that need to be trashed. If they're even confused, they have to solve it. And then they usher it with other activities. And now we've added football, which talks. So you can see it's a rich cultural thing that can bring in tourism. Yeah. If people are able to even say that, oh, what is Homo? Let me come and experience it. It brings tourism to Ghana. It brings revenue to Ghana. And I think it's time we project it. And then gradually, the peace that we all want, the fight that is happening in other regions and all that, these things can be a start. If you remember what Toby said, He said it's time for both cultures to come together to champion positive agenda. I think it is good for all of us. And I want to thank, I know you won't give me the chance if I don't say it. I have to thank the people who are supporting us. We have NYE, the boss himself, Osman Yaga.
You mentioned that.
Yes, I have to thank them again because without their support, we can't do it. We are going to bring the musicians. And one unique thing we want to do.
Who are you bringing?
Yes, one unique thing we'll bring.
Yes.
Yes, one unique thing we are going to do. We are going to propose to the office of the president and the minister through the National Sports Authority that this match should be used to honor our fallen heroes. The lives we've lost, the heroes we've lost, those 8 gallant heroes we've lost. There's nothing we can do to give them a good honor, and that match will be the major sporting event immediately after their burial on the 15th. So we'll pray the government will give us the opportunity to use that as a day that side of the stadium does not be. You will do something unique with their pictures, all of them, the 8 of them, giant ones, and there will be something to perform, and then also not only a minute of silence, but something to do some unique thing at the stadium to honor these fallen heroes, and also the teams will wear the brand. We are proposing, and we are hoping that the government will adopt this, and then after we bury our fallen heroes on 15th, all of us will be at the stadium to sell to the whole world. As we speak, Channel 1 is showing this live. And GH1 is showing it live. Max TV is producing it and showing it live. I believe very soon you guys will join and show it live, and then we can use it.
Let me read a couple of messages here. This one is from Sika Togo, who says this FA administration has even lowered the standards established over the years since 2006. The football system is just leaky roof, and see how we are struggling with underage football too. The Congress should kick away that so-called third term bid if there's conscience in their hearts. Sika, thanks for your message. This one says, someone tell Ket that if he knows what's best for him, he wouldn't even finish his second term based on the abysmal performance. He will step down himself as any honorable man would do. Lots of people in power lack conscience. Cove Town Babe with that message. And this one says, good day, Joy Sports. Third term for Ket and his football people is a no. Only an important man will require more years to impregnate his wife. 2 terms as president of the GFA is long enough to make a meaningful impact. Prosper Komla Dominion from Dakuman, Accra. Anyway, Enim Ado, thank you very much for joining us. We fully appreciate your time. 17th of August, we'll be there. Homo Cup Sunday, 5 p.m. kickoff. That's the time. So I treat all of you to go there and support. Thank you, Danike. Thank you, Achu. And thank you to Aloy Amanda who joined us earlier. Thank you to all of you for tuning in to the show. We are back again next Friday with another edition of Game Plan. Until then, do take care of yourself. And of course, it's a bye for now. Up next, the BBC World Service, and then the drive time